Hello, and welcome to Hoyt's Points. This video is the first in a series of 5 videos talking in exhaustive detail about how to play the institution map for H3VR. Each video will be dedicated to its own sector, which each have 4 holds. This video will cover the North sector, widely seen as the easiest sector, and most high score runs are spent here in Seed 0 or Seed 6. Speaking of high scores, talking about the North sector with me today is HowDeeDoo, who, as a rookie in this year's First to Worst, has pioneered a lot of the new meta we're all playing. Flashlight meta. Now, we do discuss what makes flashlights so powerful in the interview, but don't explain exactly how to do it. So just so everyone's on the same page, if you turn a flashlight to maximum brightness with the smallest cone, it will blind SOSIGs within a certain range. Also to note on this video, this is the second time I had to record the interview, as I didn't record my own voice the first time, and the second time I recorded it with the wrong microphone. It's not great, but I did what I could. Also, the original discussion was over an hour and a half long, so I've done what I could to keep the time down, information in, and ums out. Did what I could. Who am I kidding? I probably made more cuts in the video than the views that it's going to get. What I need is a good pivot. Help me, Senpai. Tell me what I can do to get the views. What's up, guys? It's your boy.
Remember to hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, and absolutely frick that little bell thing.
And in this video, we're doing Battle Royale in real life. That's right, we've kidnapped a bus full of teenagers and we're gonna make them fight to the death. We've given them all a weapon and we're gonna make them kill each other.
Cut that out. No pivoting allowed.
HowDeeDoo. How's it going?
HowDeeDoo.
So howdy, the question I always ask of all the people that show up here, how many hours do you have in H3?
I have 585 hours right now. Sorry, I had to pull up Steam.
That's all right. That's good. That's a good amount of hours. I think that's lower than a lot of the people that I've talked to. However, you have demonstrated a lot of creativity, which is why I want to talk to you first about flashlight meta and the importance of the alerts, which is going to be a lot about what we talk about in this video. All right, we're here. We're in the North sector, and we're going to be talking about the holds and maybe even the shops of North sector today, and how to move around, how to take the holds, everything.
Yeah, with the flashlight, it definitely trivializes some certain closer range holds or close range spawns, just because right out the gate, if you're pointing a flashlight at a spawn that's close to you, the SOSIG's going to walk out blind. You don't have to worry about them. You just have to hit your shot on them.
Yep.
This applies even more to like Tournament Toby, where like if you can blind a Juggernaut, that's great.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blinding the SOSIGs, especially in the take phase, helps tremendously with your stealth. I'd say like it's even more important than like say a suppressor. And suppressors are, I'd say that they're like a nice option in the first place, but they aren't exactly necessary. A flashlight, it's like a must in most of my runs now. I mean, every time I've ran the tournament, I've rolled a flashlight at this point.
Yeah.
And it has helped for stealth. I definitely would have lost stealth in several moments in my runs without a flashlight. The way it works is even if let's say you alerted a SOSIG for a slight moment, but then you blinded them, and they're shooting at you blindly, that won't actually cause alert. They know you're there, they're shooting at you, but it doesn't cause alert.
And to start it off, we're talking about Bunker. But
My favorite.
Yes, I love Bunker too. But before we even get there, we're going to talk about how to get there. How do you start even approaching Bunker? Because the stealth bonus is such a big part of the game now. You have to have special considerations on even getting into a hold.
Yeah, you do. A lot of people like playing as a crackhead. You can still, obviously, you can still play as a crackhead, but you got to be a little more careful with it now. So let's go into it. First, I like to go into penthouse here. You're gonna go upstairs. I like this because you can it gives you a little more control going into bunker.
Right, rather than just going through the hallway. Now, you're going to have irises here and over here. You can take it out if you've got a rifle, if you've got a bolty early on, but otherwise you're going to have some dance moves.
Have some really good dance moves, or just use any cover you can find in that room. Thankfully, that room does provide a lot of cover, though.
And then you're going to cut the pie here with bunker on the left here. So watch out for patrols coming from there, and watch out for patrols coming from there, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've had more issues with the patrols in that right vent in the hallway there.
Yeah. So, and you can also get another iris right here.
Mm-hmm. That does bring up an important issue. That iris will immediately lock onto you when you're pieing that area. You can be lucky and it could be like around the corner in bunker there, and you can worry about it later. But that means you're kind of like dealing with two irises at a time, because you could still have that one iris behind you in approach.
Yeah.
So again, emphasis on the good dance moves here. You might have to bait out that iris, then go back into approach and dance with that old one again.
So we've cleared out this, and then it's just about following this. It's just about following this sentinel slowly as you get more and more of the hold cleared out, and then you're ready to hit the orb. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You can honestly, the crackhead approach does kind of work for this hold, just because of how small it is.
Yeah.
If you're good with jumping over the sentinel lasers, I'd say that's totally a viable tactic.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're going to do it, I would suggest trying to cut the corner, like if the sentinel was here, you just zoop, rather than trying to just like run through it or hop through its main body.
Exactly, yeah.
So we boop the orb, we're in bunker. Where do you stand to start off the hold?
I stand at that wall to your back, actually.
Right?
Using
right here?
that little, yes. Using that little section of wall to your left as cover often.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I still do want to have the sightline on that doorway on the left where they can spawn way down the corridor.
Now we've got 3 spawns this way. We've got this far spawn here. We've got this spawn, and we've got this spawn like right here. So you're gonna hit them first, and then that far spawn. There's a rare chance that it comes around this corner, right? But that's like 5%. Most of the time, they just walk down in through this door. So you clear the first 2, and then swap around and clear these 2, right?
Yeah, I do. I find that those first 2 spawns in that first corridor, they come out faster. So I'd like to deal with them more.
And then come back for this guy who should be here by now.
Assuming he did even spawn. Count your kills through the waves, and you can probably gather whether or not he spawned.
And that's it. That's bunker. Just kidding. This is probably the simplest hold in the entire map. But let's talk encryptions. There's one special thing that I want to get to, which is the statue that can spawn here. And there's an encryption spawn that's like right here, right?
There's one back there, yeah.
So one of these like statues can be there, and it can block the encryption. What do you do if that happens to you?
Well, usually I try to prepare for it in advance. Like, whether it's between waves and I have time to just destroy the statue with my gun or melee.
Because you can destroy these statues, and I'll do it here just to show how easy it is. 1 mag out of 556 will do it, and then you
Give it a little
kinda,
loop too. Exactly, yeah.
Easy peasy. Now it's out of the way. It's not your problem anymore.
You got a free stone gun on the floor too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that there are encryptions that will spawn right behind that statue there. It's especially painful if you're hold 4 bunker where you need to deal with stealths and you're like not entirely sure if one could have spawned back there. The rest you can usually deal with, but that's the most annoying, I'd say. I mean, encryption clearing in this room is relatively simple. Apart from that statue, just shoot the encryptions till they die.
Yeah. Now, we have to keep going with my tier list gimmick. I apologize. There's a lot of criteria you could rank any given room by.
S tier immediately for mechanics and vibes.
Yes.
Or not the vibes, but mechanics and fun.
Yeah, I am the leader of the Bunker fan club. I think this, like, with how difficult the rest of the map is, it's always nice to come back to Bunker and just relax for a hold. That's how I feel every time I show up here. Like,
I love how you immediately changed the criteria when you heard the shitty rating.
Hey. I love Bunker, and I'm not going to let you give it a C tier, you monster.
Bro is a bunkie.
Bro's a bunkie. The next hold is library. So how do we approach library?
For just hold 1, let's say you're saying
we're doing
you're playing
hold 1 library,
0.
seed 0. You're coming from Helix here. Do you just enter through this nice convenient door?
Honestly, yeah. What you do have to worry about is you're just rounding the corner to 2 guard Sosigs.
There's a guy that could be right here on this kind of center platform thing, and there could be a guy right at the top of the stairs here. So you kind of have to swing this fast, right?
Yeah. If neither of them there, or only if one of them is there, then perfect. You just take them down. If they're both there, just try to take them out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get alerted if you get one and not the other.
That's true, yeah. Try and suppress one at least. I don't know. Maybe you got a flashlight. Do the flashlight thing.
Yeah. Now let's say you walk up a little bit up to the stairs there. Say maybe you only got one of the guys, but you're kind of blind to where the second one is. I like to start tossing mags out into there.
Oh, just trying to bait out them to give you a Now there can be one
just
up
give me a
here, too.
Yeah, there can. You got to check all the long range angles there too. If you press against the wall to your left, they can be up and to the left.
Yeah.
And even if you do a little jump there, they can be below as well.
Yeah.
Because
even if you do get a and it comes from this this right side over here, or like over here, you're not going to know if they're upstairs or downstairs because we don't have vertical audio. So that it only sort of helps you out. But if you hear this guy over here, bam, get him.
Yeah. Honestly, the directionality is all I'm looking for here. Getting that audio cue from them, it's going to help out a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you get that audio cue, you can kind of just peek in that direction. Again, assuming you already killed one guy. And just blast him. With that, it's just there's 2 guard Sosigs and hold 1.
Say it's hold, 3?
Yeah, 3. I approach it from the vents, actually.
Okay. And there could be a sentinel here, which is annoying, but
yes,
we're going to ignore that for now. Sweep into library. There could be a guy here, right?
Yeah.
And we cut the pie around this corner.
Yeah, there could be maybe 2 or 3 spawns, but you're mainly concerned about Sosigs at the same level as you on the right side.
You're able to cut the pie pretty cleanly to only take on one at a time.
That center wall on the stairway provides quite a bit of cover, along with like some of the SOSIGs being upstairs, none of them can see you at that angle. So you're just taking your time with it. Then I like to go up to the other doorway, and then do the same process. You won't. Oh, I hear some meat slapping.
What the hell? What are you doing? He's making so much noise.
Dang it!
Idiot. Okay.
You could say you gave him a golden shower there. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking.
I have to cut all of this out. We've cut the pie in on the first floor and killed that guy too. And then now there's just the guards that are like up here.
Yes. From there, I'll slowly work my way over, hugging the right wall.
Okay.
And looking upstairs. There still can be a guard spawn on that first floor. Yeah, right there. Exactly. So you gotta watch out for him too. As you swing that angle, keep your eye all upstairs, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So that's how to get into the room. And we come down, we boop the orb. How do you like to hold it?
I like to hold about halfway up the flight of stairs.
Somewhere like right exactly here.
Whoa, how did he know? Yes, exactly right there. Yeah, I like that spot a lot. It provides a good mix of cover, safety, and allows for quite a bit of aggression against the SOSIGs as well.
We've got a spawn here. We've got some spawns here. We've got a spawn down the stairs. And then we've got a spawn that runs in this way. Do you just use sound?
Yeah, I rely heavily on sound cues here. So, say you hear sound, it's directly to the front. You know exactly where they are. We're coming out of that dead end. Yes. Now say they're to the right and front, you know they're going to come from the vents area over there. And you can just hold that exact angle you're holding to the right, perpendicular from you. That means they could be splitting between the two doorways, actually.
You can get if there's two that spawn in the same place, like right straight through there, you can get one that comes here and like one that comes here.
You can get lucky and they can come through the same doorway, but you should be prepared for that scenario.
Thankfully, you can use this as a wall to really make sure that you're only taking on one at a time.
Yeah, that wall is the key piece to the strategy, and making sure you don't get shot.
And then there's the ramp spawn, of course.
Yeah, say you don't hear anything when you're expecting a wave. They're going to be directly behind you. And that's assuming you're having like 2-on-2 waves. You're not dealing with like 3 in every corridor yet, because it's harder to keep track of that.
Say it is like a 3x1 spawn, right? You get 3 different spawn points and they're all coming into the room at the same time. What's the order here?
First one you're looking at right there, front, then to the right, then the spawn directly behind you, the far one. And then assuming that's clear, you peek that left door there.
That makes a lot of sense.
But yeah. Encryption clearing, that's a different story. That wall, it's great for like, you know, not getting shot by SOSIGs and taking them at your own pace.
Yeah.
But it's not the best for encryption clearing, I'd say.
Because you are completely surrounded and there's no real good chance for a nice lineup or even taking good cover to deal with it. Now, is it just like entirely conditional where you stand, depending on where you see them pop up, or is there some places you more gravitate towards?
A place I really like to gravitate towards is just the top of the flight of stairs there, because you're already like concealed from pretty much every spawn there now.
It buys you so much time to come up here.
Yeah. I sometimes like to go up there in between waves, try to get like my bearings on all the encryptions and stuff,
That's
where
good
they're
practice,
gonna spawn.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm feeling real fun and just like hold one, it doesn't really matter. I'll do what Ethium likes to call witness me on a lot of encryptions there. Usually I'll clear out as many of the statics as possible at first, and then I'll dive down on top of them.
Right. So
with the gun.
There's usually some that no matter where you are up here, you can't see from any single given point. Like there's some that are like, if I'm standing here, there's one that's like spawning directly underneath me.
Yeah.
So you take out the ones that are at the top. Excuse me. You take out the ones that are at the top, and then when you know that by like process of elimination, you've killed all the ones that can be seen from up here, you know that the last ones are underneath you, and then you go for the big dive and only hit the encryption. If you were just trying to survive in here, where do you think is a good spot to hold?
I think running along upstairs to the right there. I think working that pillar right in front of you is definitely a good option.
This pillar lets you take out these guys real quick, and then you can cut over to here, and then you can kind of just let these guys enter the room, but they're probably not going to see you first. You'll be able to just shoot down at their heads.
Exactly, yes. Often they like going upstairs as well, and they take their time with that, so and you have a wide open view of the stairs from there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there you also have a great view of most of the rooms encryptions.
Right.
You might have to like move around with the pillars though, just because sometimes they can block the encryptions you're looking at.
Yeah, you'll have to move once the encryption spot, but otherwise you can really turret here at this pillar and use it for some good cover.
Yeah, we're talking just strictly survival here. This is an amazing spot.
Not a great spot for speed or control of the room even, but it'll keep you very alive.
Yes, exactly.
Where do you put library on our tier list?
We're going off mechanics and fun. I'm gonna give it a solid A tier in terms of vibes. It's not feeling very library-ish,
Well, you can't give it a B because B stands for books, and it's got none.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say the only thing bringing it down is sometimes the pillars are really annoying to work around. It's just a love-hate relationship with those pillars for me.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's continue to our next hold. We're going to start in studio, because you can get here from the sewers if you need to. But how do you get into the atrium while trying your damnedest to keep that stealth bonus?
Emphasis on damnedest, because god damn it's hard. And it is. As I peek out of that room, it really depends on where the sentinel is at that moment in time. If it's to the left, I'll work the right. If it's to the right, I'll work the left. The left one, though, I'd say that's easier to work first.
So we come up here and we start cutting the pie. What am I thinking about?
You're just thinking about killing any Sosig you see, cutting that pie, not overextending yourself. Once you kill those guys, if they even are there, you're gonna back off.
Yeah, you're not going to keep sweeping into the room to get seen by the parapet guys.
Parapet, yeah.
Crenulated defense Sosigs.
Crenulated defense Sosigs? Wow.
What do you call it? It's just like the balcony?
Balcony sounds proper, but I like
these are embattlements as far as I'm concerned.
Embattlements. Yes, I like embattlements.
Yes, okay.
So you work up to that door.
There's a guy here. He's the easy one.
From there, you work the embattlements extremely slowly.
Okay.
Take your time with it. Hit your shots. If you miss a shot and they started ducking behind it, you're gonna have to run back and just wait 10, 20 seconds or so. Just wait until they de-aggro. Just keep on sweeping through.
Now there can be an iris.
Yeah, that brings up another good point.
Now there are 2 other entrances. If you need to pull out because you can't find a way into the room, do you sweep into either the vents that pop up there or the sewer that's right here?
Usually the sewer, because it's closer and easier to get to.
Right.
Like all you gotta do is dip back into studio and just go through the sewers until you're there. Okay. Honestly, that probably would be my plan from there, rather than pushing into the room, just because of that horrible iris placement.
Right. So you're not committed to going in through the corridors. You usually would really prefer to come in through this way, but if you just can't work it out, you'll come in through the sewer. But either way, what you're trying to do is get to this point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I have started doing that now.
Yeah, so
ever since you showed me.
If you come in through that door and you get up against this wall, you can just do a little hop and then physically move your head over to get on top of the wall and really pop up. You can't do it on that wall. That wall's too tall, but you can do it on this one. So now you're up here, and you've still got probably some Sosigs up here and maybe a couple around the corner there.
Yeah, I like to check around the corner first, assuming you have good knees, is get to the floor and then zoom past.
You really crouch down like this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because this really tightens up the angle that you can be seen from. So we're crouching, we're zooming, and then we peek around this corner to kill this guy specifically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hopefully we got all of the other guys that could be here earlier. And now we're on to just the top, the king of the hills that are up here. How do you approach them?
You can start throwing magazines at the top of the stairway from the bottom there. I like to throw it at the top from there, so they'll walk into view if they like to investigate.
So you're like one hand out and then just like, yeah.
Kinda, yeah, exactly. Okay. And then for any stubborn guard Sosigs that won't investigate, I usually do always get an investigation. Any stubborn ones, I'll just run up there and blast them. Okay.
There might be still a guy over here, maybe a guy over here, and we just blah blah. Just take him out.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Hopefully that gets you into the room unalerted. I don't think I've ever done it. It's so hard because like you could be halfway done doing this and a patrol just comes in from here and spots you while you're doing your little jump, right? You're like, haha, I'm halfway done, and then they just see you and then you're done.
Yeah, you gotta worry about random patrols that can come into the room. That's actually another reason why I don't go through the vents often in this room. I noticed the patrols like coming through those vents.
I think we've cleared it out as good as we're gonna get. We boop the orb. Now where do we go? Because I think the obvious spot is saying like, well, up here, duh. But like, more specifically.
Just that pillar to your left there. Mm-hmm. I like to hold right there.
Right here?
It's like a multi-step process.
A little clockworking?
Yeah, clockworking. Yeah, you're gonna pay attention to those vents first. Mm-hmm. Sosigs can also run out of that dead end on the right.
Yep. Bop.
Yeah.
Bop. We're
now,
clear up top. Now our back is clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then we turn around and get these two?
Exactly, yes. Crouch. If you're getting issues from those guys, you also have that embattlement to crouch behind.
Yes. Ha.
And then we're gonna do a little acrobatics here. You're gonna get on top of the embattlement. That's what I like to do.
And then you like to run along it like Pepe Le Pew and do a little jump.
But yeah, I do that jump. You already have sightlines on those guys on the left doorway. So you gotta keep an eye out for them as you're being a trapeze artist.
And then we get that guy.
And then you shoot directly downwards from there, possibly getting that guy. right below you
Right.
from that right spot.
Like a lot of Sosigs path this away around this corner, so just pick up any stragglers there.
From there, if there are stragglers, I'll jump there directly down to floor 1.
Just
to
to
deal.
get this angle here.
Exactly. Now, from there, you got to get back up. I like to jump up on that little embattlement, and you can turn around and do the head glitch up to there.
Oh my god! Oh, hang on. Now. Oh.
I do like a head bop into it.
Oh, you
Exactly.
have to headbutt it.
Exactly. Yeah, do a headbutt into it in real life, and you'll get through.
So
Yes,
good.
yes, I am telling you to smack your head into a concrete wall here.
That's how you do it, man. You just beat the wall into submission.
If you're getting real good at it, you can run backwards along that emplacement and do a backwards headbutt into it.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
you got it.
One thing I do want to talk about is the not this close vent spawn, but the vent spawn that's like down here. Because they could cooperate and just run out through here, but that's not what they do.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, they do not just simply run into the room. What they do is they hear you up there and they want to take the closest route to you, which is up this ladder. And then Sosigs climb ladders very slowly, and the entire time they're climbing the ladder, you're hearing them in the vent. You're like, oh, am I going to get flanked at any moment? And the answer is maybe. But, you know, they might decide that they've had enough of the ladder and they actually don't want to go to the top, and they change their mind. Now they're going to the bottom, and you're hearing them the entire time.
This is very good to go over. Let's go back to the beginning position in the clockwork. They would spawn down there,
Right.
in that lower vent, and then go through the vents up there. You can't access them at all. There is a way to prevent this most of the times, I'd say. First, you're gonna deal with those guys on the top as fast as you can, and lower as low as you can. And as you are actually walking across that embattlement, you're gonna like make a few pop shots, even if you're like not even like shooting at Sosigs. You just need to make some sound there. Maybe suppressing the Sosig. The point is you're making sound on that different area over there.
Okay.
And I think something about like how the pathing works for Sosigs, that's like the path of least resistance now. So now they want to come out of the lower entrance rather than the upper entrance. I think they just like to go in through those vents up there just because, like, as you said, it's the shortest path rather than going out and around to the stairs. However, if you're bringing yourself closer to the stairs there while making like more sounds, that they like to come out there more often than not now when I started trying that out.
That's good tech. Encryption spawns. A 4th or 5th hold, right?
It's only 4 and 5.
Okay. Now, I do prefer hold 5 in here to hold 4. I think it's a worse hold 4.
Yes, hold 4 is very mean in here.
Because the first thing you get is stealths in here, which are hard to see because everything's gray. And there's all these pillars in the way. So you really have to start running through the room.
I multitask it while I'm working that first clockwork and count the number of encryptions. Right. For those who don't know, the stealth locations, they're always going to be randomized. They will not spawn on the little encryption clouds. However, you can count the number of clouds, and there will be 4 to 6. It's randomized. Right. So if you know how many there are, that can help you out tremendously.
Now, when they spawn, you're killing and moving around the room, so you go bop bop, and then you're looking up here.
Yeah,
and then
you go over there, pop up, look around.
Here.
Yeah.
You're usually at about this level, right?
Yeah, they usually spawn like above the ground level. Of course, there usually always seems to be a spawn at the upper level too.
Yeah.
Always above and behind you.
It's always behind you. It's always above you.
So with the stealths, they are going to always have some weird spawns. From the top, I work that clockwork once again, clearing out that second wave of Sosigs while dealing with the stealths. Assuming I haven't killed them all, which is like 90% of the time, I'll have to jump down and start searching down there manually. Well, I'll jump down over by the lower vent, I'd say, and start working that ground floor as fast as I can. Of course, before doing that, make sure you cleared out the upper area, because you don't want to jump down there and
this
leave.
is not a witness me moment. This is a considered relocation, and you're still fighting the Sosigs.
Exactly, yes.
That's the stealths. I think the other hard one in here is the polymorphic. If you get like a polymorphic spawn down here. Well, because if it's up here, it's pretty easy. Because all you got to do is control this staircase and your backside over here. Or
even if it's just close up there, you still have the embattlements to shoot from.
Right.
That's the name for them. Yeah, exactly.
Now the polymorphic. What if the polymorphic spawns down here? Because it does this like 70% of the time for me. It's the one that's right here.
Yeah, it does that to me too. I understand that pain.
Now, it's totally valid to just take a shield dog or a ghost dog and get up close on it.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Assuming it's like just in a horrible spot. I've still had quite some success using those pillars as cover. And trying to limit the number of spawns that can actively see you there.
Right.
Of course, you probably have to take some breaks from the encryption, just to deal with any Sosigs that are encroaching on your position.
Yeah.
It will be mostly the ground floor Sosigs you're worried about, along with that vent Sosig to the left.
Yeah, if you stick behind this pillar, you're kind of protected from this whole area here.
There's also a lot of other shitty spawns out there. Just take the closest pillar to it and use that pillar to limit the Sosig views, I'd say. Overall, I'd take Hoyt's option over just raw dogging it. I'd say just suck it up, take the shield, take the ghost. It'll be fine.
Now, if you're someone who's just trying to survive in here, are you doing anything different? Or, I mean, maybe just don't hop up on the wall, just use the wall for cover?
Yeah, I mean, the clockwork is pretty simple in the first place. Just it's more the movement that's technical here, I'd say. Yeah, just maintain those same steps. Kill those upper spawns first. Kill those left lower spawns, then kill those far lower spawns. Honestly, if you want to be like really lazy, you don't even have to work the lower ground floor. You can lose control over it and have a hard time with encryptions if you want. I don't recommend it, but you are like completely safe up there if you're just working those two spawns and the stairway.
Like you can stand right here and get this guy when he runs out, and then this guy too, and then you're chilling.
Yeah, just I wish you luck on the encryptions when that.
Giving Atrium a spot on the tier list. Where would you put Atrium in the tier list?
In terms of fun and mechanics, a B tier. I think once you have the movement down, you can have quite a lot of fun. But it's kind of rough for like people just learning take and hold, I'd say. Like I definitely had a hard time learning how the clockwork worked in this room. At first.
The room presents itself as a lot easier than it actually is, because you think, I'm going to be able to hold King of the Castle and who cares, but it's actually because of these things behind you and the technicality of just working a fourth or fifth hold. It's a lot more complicated than it lets on. That takes us to approach. Now, how do you approach?
I like to approach from the penthouse. It really doesn't matter, I'd say, how you get to penthouse. You just want to start out in penthouse there. From there, you get two spawns right off the rip.
This guy?
And just
And that guy.
Yep, you just blast him.
Pop, pop.
From there, I start throwing mags right in the center of the stairwell.
Try and throw it in the center of the stairwell.
But yeah, you can maybe get 1 or 2 baits there. Dare I say, you become a master bait. From there, if assuming you've baited some sosigs, maybe you killed 1 or 2.
Right.
I'd say you can peek the lower floor from there now.
Okay. So
be careful of the iris though.
So iris is the first concern here. So you hit the iris here, and then you're just zoom. You're in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't peek around that left wall. Your back is too though. I will not do that.
So don't go too far here.
Just peek out enough to clear any sosigs on the lower level there. Then I'll go back into the hallway from penthouse.
Okay. So now we're here. And we can peek
Careful
in.
of the sentinel, of course. You should be used to it, seeing as this is hold 5.
Yep.
And just clear any sosigs out on the lower level there. And that sosig right there too. Yeah, careful with the cover they maintain. If you miss any shots, they probably will try to dip behind cover.
Right.
So, as mentioned before with Atrium, just kind of reset the whole encounter, run back a little bit, wait. But yeah, once that lower level is cleared, I will like to go up to sewer.
So we're done there. Now we go sewer. Which will allow us to get up to the high entrance right next to the metro station.
From this ladder, I do like to fling myself up while holding my weapon in the other hand.
Okay. So let's see if I can manage to do this. You're just
you
up
ladder
in it.
pop. Yep.
Pop, pop.
Now this part does actually rely on flashlight tech here, so I know it might make you gag a little, but yeah, I point the flashlight exactly right there, and rush up to that wall. There's a sosig there, and he does alert through that little mailbox. The flashlight from that angle is too far away, so what I do is I charge up. As you charge up to there, you should be able to blind that sosig. He might even start blind firing, honestly. But once he's blinded, he should not be able to alert, as long as you blinded him in time. And then, yeah, it's possible you still have, like, maybe 1 or 2 more spawns down below on the stairs. But then from there, it should be done.
Right. We can get that guy. We can make sure there's none here, and then we can make sure there's none here. We find the orb, we boop it. We're in the hold now. Now where do we stand?
Right in between the 2 stairways at the top there, using that wall as cover.
Like here, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anybody hold any spot other than like either here or kind of like right there-ish. This is a pretty determinative spot. Yeah,
it just feels the most natural. So that spawn there, it's going to be, as with any hold, there's going to be clockwork. You're going to... That spawn there is your first step in the clockwork.
And you should be able to hear him. So if you don't hear him, he's not there.
Next, also you can peek either side. It doesn't matter. I like to peek the left side first, though. Just because of that far sosig that can spawn directly front. Right there. Yeah, right where your laser's at.
Yeah, he usually comes into the left. Kill him, and then you're just kind of waiting for these sosigs in the wings to pop out.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty slow about it.
They definitely take their time. From there, it's just a repeat. Get that first spawn on the left and peek down.
That's the ball game. If you're a newer player struggling to survive, it's the same story. You don't do anything different. It's not like this is more risky but faster or anything. There's just kind of the one way to hold this room, which is probably why I like it for score so much, is because it's so easy to go hitless in this room.
It's not like Atrium. This one is just a standstill in one area and turret your way through it.
So this is only a 5th hold, like I said, so that means you're only dealing with 5th hold encryptions. Are there any special considerations? They can only spawn like down this corridor. There's one that can spawn right here and then down this corridor as well.
Yeah. There can be one on the opposite end of that upper side as well, I believe. First, let's just go in order of encryptions here. So cascading. With cascading, I don't like to pop any power-ups. I just like to raw dog it because it's an easier one compared to the other two.
Yeah.
If it's up close, like say in that upper area, you have two options, I'd say. You can pull back, like maybe near that green corridor there. Oh, towards it, actually.
Okay. So you'll pull over to here?
Yeah, so that gives you a view on the dead end spawn too, just in case any SOSIG spawn there.
Right.
And you can still work that whole encryption out. And then there's another option you have, and that is the crackhead approach, is to run away from the encryption.
So if it spawns up here, you're trying to put as much distance as possible to get shotgun spread on the cheesy bits, right? That's the idea
Exactly, yes. This room, that's what I like about this room. It's got a long sideline just for that. Of course, you do have to worry about like 5 more SOSIG spawns down there.
Yep.
But yeah, once you break that first phase, just switch to your shotgun with number 4 and birdshot the shit out of it, I'd say.
Yeah. But the idea is that every shot of number 4 buckshot is getting multiple of the cheesy bites instead of standing here and having the whole move like your whole body to clear it close up.
Even if it's like halfway down the stairs, I'll still use the number 4. I'd say it's worth doing. Orthogonal. This one is a little tricky.
But I feel like it has the fewest opportunities to be mean in this room, because mostly it's going to be traveling this away.
I'd say the most unexpected thing it can do is cross sides in between those little like, gaps.
Okay.
So just be prepared to like switch sides if that happens. Other than that, if you take way too long of a time to kill it, it can get up into those nooks and crannies.
Yeah, it can like get up here even, right?
Yeah, and on the other side as well.
Hopefully Anton blessed you and you got the infinite ammo power up.
Yes, infinite ammo is, I'd say it's very good to pop on this. If you got a good trigger finger, I'd say it's you're kind of set with just an infinite ammo.
Yep.
Of course, you still want to pay attention to the SOSIGs if you're not popping the shield dog or ghost dog, but yeah, you can just pop it.
I feel like the orthogonal and the refractive in this room, it's the only 5th hold that I would feel even remotely comfortable not having a shield dog at all. And just maybe clearing it fast enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. I've walked into here several times without like any defense dogs, and I found quite a lot of success with that.
Any considerations with the refractive, or are you just running up on it, double gun, number 4 buckshot, bullet burst, bam?
For the refractive, that's the most important to keep your time on. The encryptions, if you don't know, they will always spawn at set times throughout the hold. So if you have some way to keep track of time, my personal favorite is keeping the music on and paying attention to certain music beats. You can anticipate exactly when an encryption will spawn. So you can like pre-pop a power dog. You don't have to like fumble around in your pockets for the power dog because the encryption just spawned right in front of your face, you know? Yeah, just blast away that refractive and now you've ended your run.
What do you think about approach? Where's it go on our tier list?
Yeah, I was about to ask. We gotta rate it.
Gotta rate it.
Approach. It's a solid. I'd say it's an A tier.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a solid A.
A for approach.
I'm keeping it off of S just because like the clockwork on it, while it's nice, it can be a little like.
It's a little one-dimensional.
Yeah, one-dimensional, exactly. I find my brain is rotting actively while I'm working it.
Yeah. Putting the roach in approach.
Roach in approach.
All right, so let's talk about shops. Let's talk about getting into shops.
Yeah.
There are 3?
Yes, 3. Helix, Penthouse.
So clearing out Helix is pretty easy. You don't want to do it from sewer. You want to do it from this side so you can get this guy first.
Yes. Honestly, just work your way down.
Not hard.
Yeah, just kill whatever you see.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
Penthouse, however, do you even go in from this entrance?
I've been experimenting with both the front and the sewer entrance.
Because you can get a quick pop on this guy, but then
Yeah, you can.
as soon as you are here, you're in trouble.
Yeah, there's 5 possible spawns just right off the bat there.
So I think the safer way, it takes more time, which is annoying, but coming up through here saves you a lot of hassle, right?
Yeah, it does. Or the SO6 will filter through that upper area as well if you're making noise. Which you probably are because you're shooting their friends.
Yep. But you can just keep your gun pointed right here and throwing ammo on the ground, and they will just walk into your sight line.
Exactly, yeah. If you're impatient, you can also swing that lower area too. And it works out usually, especially if you're using a flashlight.
Okay, finally, studio.
So I'd like to walk through this one actually with let's say you just finished hold 3 bunker, seed 0. You're having the time of your life. First off, you probably want to grab a green berry from a SOSIG.
Okay.
During your hold-in bunker. For those who don't know, a green berry is a SOSIG grenade. Try your best to throw it into studio from there without peeking.
So you come up to this wall and try and throw a grenade right in there.
Even if it doesn't land in there, it's all right. The point of the grenade isn't exactly to kill, but hey, if it does kill, that's good too. The important thing is just don't peek Atrium. We double back over to the approach entrance of sewer. Be careful of the iris. So the point of that grenade earlier was to hopefully flush out some of the guard SOSIGs and bring them out to the other side. And that also brings out a lot of the patrols that like to have a party in there over to the grenade. Your main priority is getting over to the other side of that room to deal with the patrol SOSIGs. Because once they're in the room, they're a lot harder to deal with rather than just out in that corridor.
Now, there is a guy here, so he's the first one you want to kill.
If you shoot that guy, be prepared for a second guy to drop down right in front of you there.
Yeah, because there's a guy here, and he can drop down right here, and there's also a guy here that can start walking down the stairs.
Yeah. I'll try and get that first guy on the right, as you mentioned, and then if second guy drops down, then pop him. Then I push up to that wall to the left. I don't even wait for that guy to walk down the stairs, and I start working the front entrance. Honestly, I still leave that guy on the stairs hanging if he is there. I'm mostly worried about the patrols because they're still probably alive from the grenades. You can get 6 SOSIGs walking into there at this point.
Yeah, because you could have a huge party of SOSIGs right here that you just have to work through.
But yeah, the main concern is the number of SOSIGs.
And then after everything's said and done, you come back around this way and you kill that guy. Yeah.
He's probably at the bottom of the stairs right now, ready to peek you or something.
Yeah. Make sure you kill him.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I think we've talked pretty exhaustively about the North Sector. First of the 5. Thanks for talking with me today, Howdy.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
The next one will be Central, and I don't know who I'm talking with yet, so we'll figure that out. But thanks for watching Hoyt's Points, and we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.